God. Here we go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Yeah. How are you doing today, Lucas?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. A little tired, feeling good though. You know, the spirit of God is keeping me rocking and rolling.
Telling you.
You know?
I feel like sometimes like when life just hits,
Yeah.
it's like God is just always there to just remind me that, hey, it's okay. It's gonna be okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'll be so like, I'll have been like, I'd crash out if I didn't have the Lord.
yeah, that's valid. That's valid.
You know,
absolutely.
So,
yeah.
100%.
I was just coming out of a couple days ago. I had like a little bit of like a stomach bug going on or whatever. But it's like I'm on the outside of that now.
Oh yeah.
Feeling better, starting
That's
to get
good.
back to basics.
Oh yeah.
And so very grateful that I'm
that's good.
not feeling like that anymore, you know. Yeah.
Do you think we need to be more grateful in life?
100%.
I love how 100%. We're just diving deeper.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
An attitude of gratitude. That's what they say, you know? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think I think your mindset and your mentality is what is going to determine pretty much everything that happens in your life. You know, you're either putting your faith in something good, or you're putting your faith or fear in something bad, right? And so those are my thoughts.
Oh, but, yeah. 100%. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Wow, yeah. But like, before we dive deep in,
go ahead.
Like, what's something that's kind of like reminded you lately that like you're still becoming, like you're still.
Oh. I feel like God does a really good job of consistently humbling me and reminding me like, hey. This isn't it. This is we're just getting started.
Wow.
Always.
Oh, wow.
All the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard recently there's a podcast that I was listening to. Dave Last, I think is the guy's name that was on the podcast. He wrote a book. I can't remember the name of the book, but he was on a podcast and he was talking about just basically becoming, you know, in this constant journey of becoming. And what happens with a lot of people is they'll reach a certain level in their life and they'll think, oh, this is what God's called me to. This is it. This is what he's called me to do. And then they stay there, but God's like, no, I wanted so much more for you, you know?
Wow.
And so he uses the story of David and he talks about how David could have just been a shepherd. And that's it. He could have been like, hey, I'm a shepherd. That's what I do. Right. But then God was like, no, actually, you're gonna make some music. You're gonna write some stuff. And then he could have said, hey, I'm a musician.
Right.
And he could have stopped there too. But then he became king.
Right.
And so there's this constant cycle, this constant journey of becoming that God wants to take us on throughout our life, right?
Wow.
And so that story's always stuck with me ever since hearing that. I've been like, wow, you know, I gotta make sure that no matter what season I'm in, no matter what level I'm at, I don't want to put a cap on what God's calling me to do in my life. And so, yeah, that's just that'll humble somebody right there, you know? So that's humbled me.
That's a word for somebody. That's a word for somebody, for real. Wow, yeah. 100%. I definitely feel like we're still like growing, right? It's still a journey. And I love how you mentioned like some people will probably get to a point in life and they're like, okay, yeah, this is it, guys.
Yeah.
I've become.
Yeah. I've become.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that's like as long as you still have breath in your lungs, God still has a purpose for your life.
100%.
And it's ongoing, right? Like you don't get to a point where it's like, okay, yeah, this is it, guys.
That's right.
Like you're constantly growing, you're constantly evolving, right? As humans, literally, we're constantly evolving. Like, what kind of person were you before Jesus? Should we dive deep?
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. And yeah, we kind of talked briefly a little bit before we got on here, just about being super vulnerable and just real and raw and honest. And so, and so I'll just give that to you. And if you need to cut stuff out, you just cut it out. Do whatever you want, you know. You know, if I name a type of drug or something, you just delete it if you want or whatever. You know, it's okay. No, I wasn't huge into like all kinds of anything super crazy, but I would say, like, what type of person was I? I would say, very, very selfishly driven. I would say, I think I was, always wanting to, and you know what's so interesting? There was, you know how, have you heard people say like, oh, and you get this a lot in like the creative fields. People say like, oh, I'm going to blow up one day.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I can't wait for this to blow up.
Yeah.
I was talking.
Yes.
Well, yeah. And it's like, well, and the other side of it too is like, what does that even mean? Like, what do you mean blow up? and you start when someone says, "I can't wait to blow up" or whatever, ask them what they mean. You mean like you're what are you talking about?
Like, what do you mean?
And they don't even know what they're saying. Like, oh, I want to. Well, they might say, oh, I want to have like 1 million followers or have a song do 1 million streams. It's like, okay, that's fantastic. Well, 1 million streams is going to get you about maybe $5,000 to $7,000. Then what? I could go make $5,000 to $7,000 at McDonald's. You give me a couple months.
Right.
So what does that mean long term for you? You know what I mean? So I think that was my mentality, was that one day I'm going to blow up. But that's not a very great blueprint for life, you know? And through that, not having a very clear set identity on yourself and where you're going, you really get stuck in partaking in activities and doing things and surrounding yourself with different people that don't align with actually where you want to go, because you don't know where you're really going.
Wow. Bars. Oh my God.
You know, and so I think that's how I lived a lot of my life, was just kind of jumping kind of from one thing to another, thinking, oh hey, this looks cool, these people look cool, you know, I like smoking weed, these guys smoke weed, let's all smoke weed, kind of a thing. And that's that's what I did for a lot of the time. And and I think at one point I got really driven towards like, you know, just what do I love? Like, what am I passionate about? And then trying to turn that into a career without considering where that's going to take me and the life that it would create for me. Like, I wanted to do, I wanted to be a photographer and shoot music videos. That's what I wanted to do. Just work with rappers. That's what I wanted to do for a while. So I pursued that really hard, started working with all kinds of artists in the Ontario, like Niagara region, Toronto area. And then got to a point where I was like, I hate this. Like I loved, like when I first enjoyed working with a camera, I enjoyed shooting photos, that time out by myself, shooting landscapes, portraits, all those sorts of things. But then once you've got people hounding you about like, hey dude, when are we getting that video done? Hey, can you send me those photos? This and that. It's just like, oh my goodness. I don't like this part of this, right? And so I got to a point where I was just like getting overwhelmed, stressed out, didn't have the people. Like there was one time I was at a shoot and this guy that we were shooting for, he showed up and he was on Percocets. So he's zombie mode, high out of his mind, right? And I'm like 18 at the time, 18 or 19, and I'm trying to figure out like, okay, brother, let's get in front of the green screen. We got to shoot. And then and I was like, come on, like, let's go, let's do this thing. And his buddy was like, hey, don't tell him what to do, because while he's high, you don't want to play around with this guy. And in my head, I'm like, get out.
Right.
We ain't doing it. Like, you guys, you're on my time right now. I'm shooting a video for you guys. You're going to start telling me to not do the work that we're here to do. Right. You know, what are we doing? But anyways, I didn't have the social skills or the people skills at the time to be able to, you know, and at the end of the day, looking back, like that falls on me. I should have been like, hey, if we're going to shoot this video, you're going to show up sober. We're going to be here from this time to this time, and this is what we're going to get done. You know, my manager now, he says, you gotta treat everything with most people like they're toddlers. You gotta tell them what's going to happen, and then tell them you gotta tell them what's gonna happen, and then it happens, and then you gotta tell them what just happened. Oh yeah. And I wasn't good at that. I didn't do none of that. And so I think part of it came down to kind of getting ahead of myself with trying to do so much, but not having the foundation of character to be able to do those things. But I think it was a blessing at the end of the day, because you know, I was just high all the time. I'd show up to stuff high. I'd probably even call up someone and cancel a shoot because I was too high. Those sorts of things. I remember even like, and it's not funny. It's just like, it's just where I was at. But I remember someone saying, I was like, oh, it's $500 for a shoot. And they were like, why don't we do $300 and we'll give you like a quarter pound of weed? And I was like, you got yourself a deal, brother. So,
it was that deal.
I was just like, oh, word. Yeah, sounds good. $200-$300, some weed. I'm cool with it, you know? And so, but then you just get so depressed. And like my life was just rough. Like I was in the darkest spot I've ever been in my life at that time, where you're like, your tires are in the mud, you're grinding so hard, working towards something that you don't even want. Wow. You know?
Working towards something that you don't even want.
Yeah.
Do you feel like our generation's kind of like in that same headspace?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think most people in our generation are looking, and again, I don't want to overgeneralize, but I will say, like, I'll, like, most people that you talk to, if you say, you know, how do you want to live your life? Like, what do you want your life to look like? No idea.
No idea.
But they all got a plan. They all got some sort of a plan. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to graduate with this. But then what? And what kind of a life will that really provide for you?
Purpose?
You know, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow.
But and it comes back to this becoming, right? Because a lot of people get focused on where, like, what do you want to do rather than who do you want to become?
Right.
Character's out the window these days.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter anymore. It does matter, but we don't live like it matters.
Right.
And in fact, most people's lives are lived on social media anyway, so your character actually doesn't even matter at that point because no one's. You can fake it. You know. That's just kind of what it is, you know.
That's literally what it is. Yeah. I don't even know where to pick on. I feel like we said so much.
Sorry, I got, you know.
Like, this is some good stuff right here. Okay. So when you mentioned, what was it? I think it was at the very start where you were like mentioning how like you kind of fell into this pathway of obviously not knowing what to do, and then you just kind of jumped right in, like, you know, type of thing. Yeah. So like, would you say like, and then obviously now realizing afterwards that okay, I don't think this is the way for me. Would you say that was kind of like a little nudge from the Lord, like, hey? Yeah. I think that God was always trying to speak to me, and there's actually very specific situations that I remember being put in where it was clear as day. Like, I'll never say that I heard God say this when I act like and make it sound like I audibly heard him when I didn't, you know. But I will say that there's been moments where it was like without a doubt. Moments where I would have an experience or something would happen where there's no doubt in my mind that it was God saying something to me, you know, speaking right to my heart. So, there's been moments like that where, and the thing with it always, when it is like a straight direct line from the Lord, it comes with so much peace. That is so true. When he gives it to you. That is so true. And it could be the worst news in the world. And it's just like something about it. Right? Because it's real, you know? And it's like, yeah. I love how you say it could literally be the worst thing in the world, but the fact that the Lord's peace is with you, you just know you're okay. Yeah. That's powerful. Yeah. That's so powerful. And you know, just as you said, like, you know, it wasn't kind of like a judgmental like conviction. Oh, you did this. It was more of like, I'm here with hands wide open. Just come. Absolutely. Wow. Yeah. Wow. And that is just like wow. And is this around the time where you like your passion for music just started coming in, or how did you? Great question. So I always had a big passion for music. And it's really interesting. Part of the reason that I ended up getting into video and photography was because I was just too insecure and afraid to pursue music that I was like, oh, maybe I'll just pursue this instead, kind of a thing. But I grew up, like, my dad was in a band growing up. I actually grew up in an a cappella church where they only sang, like, out of the hymn books, a cappella, no instruments, right? Oh, wow. Yeah. So, wow, like, that's actually cool. I haven't heard of this in a long time now. You know what? I thought, like, I never heard of much about instruments growing up or whatever. But I knew instruments just because my dad was in a band, but not in a church setting, right? That was kind of foreign to me. But I always had a huge passion for music. I think, like, I started playing drums when I was probably 3 or 4. Wow. Started playing guitar around 9. And then I remember, like, I think I wrote my first song. I would have been 12 or 13 at the time. Wrote my first song. And then from that point, it was just a lot of singing with my brother, with my dad. We would play guitar. Like, we had guitars everywhere in our house, so we were always playing guitar. Wow. And then in high school, started singing with different. I forget what they called it. It was like a group. It was just guys. Oh yeah. So it was just a group of guys singing and stuff. And so we would do different performances for assemblies. My brother and I would always sing. We'd do like harmonies for most of the assemblies that happened at our high school. We were singing at them. Oh wow, that's nice. Yeah, so we did a lot of that stuff, which was really cool. And so I always had that passion, but I always got myself caught in this
you know, it's interesting because the devil, with this is something I've heard, you know, this isn't straight from the dome right now. This is just things that I've heard from wise people that have gone before, you know. But often what happens is the devil will try to build weeds in the area that God's called you to, right? And so it hasn't been until over the last 5 years, I guess you could say, that I started realizing, like, hey, where are the weeds in my life? Where are the things that I'm constantly telling, like, the voices in my head are telling me, oh, no, you're not good at that. Hey, don't even bother, you know?
Right.
And music was one of those big, music and speaking, two of the things.
Wow.
Speaking and music.
And music.
Two things where it was just like, oh, no, you're not good enough for that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you're not as good as this person. Oh, don't even bother.
Wow.
Oh, you wake up at first thing in the morning and you can't sing a riff perfectly? You ain't good enough, kind of a thing. But then I come to find out, ain't nobody can do that anyways, you know? No one's able to do that.
Man.
So,
wow.
But I looking back, I can fish out where the seeds of those weeds even got planted in the first place. I can remember the exact moments where someone said something or whatever. And there was this tension in high school all the time of having, playing football, but then also singing. And, you know, people are like, you know, what are you going to pick? Are you going to be like, it's like Troy Bolton or whatever from High School Musical, you know? It's like, you're just like, oh, what you going to do, you know? And yeah, I just got like always just nervous and insecure about singing. It's like, oh, your voice, you sing like a little angel or whatever, like a little angel boy or something. And I'd just be like, oh, all right, whatever. And so I got really insecure and afraid about it and everything. And so, yeah, so there was definitely some tension around it my whole life. But my whole life, it was something that was just very close to me and something that I enjoyed doing. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's actually powerful. Even just when you mentioned, like, you know, the area of calling, that's when the enemy wants to kind of like put out, what was the phrase again? Little weeds?
Yeah, planting weeds or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Just to like make you kind of run away from that. The whole time God is like, that's where I want you to be.
Yeah.
And it's like that. This is really, it really just shows like how wicked the enemy can be.
And you know how crafty he is too. He, you know, we talk about like people will talk about like passive income or whatever, like getting your money to work for you.
Yeah.
The devil's got that same plan, because what he does, he plants that seed, and he just said it. He said it to you once through somebody, but now you tell it to yourself all the time. He doesn't even need to do the work anymore. He's gone on to someone else.
Wow.
And you're doing the work for him. You're telling yourself the thing that, because the dialogue goes from, you're not good at this, and then give it 2-3 weeks to a month, and now you're saying, I'm not good at this, you know?
Wow. That's actually powerful.
So if you pay attention to the dialogue in your mind of what you're being told or what you're hearing, if you're saying, I'm not good at this, or I can't do that, it's at that point, it might not even be the devil anymore. It's just you've heard it so often, you just believe it yourself now. And that's why we need to submit, and we need to come into agreement with what God said about us. But that's maybe a whole different, you know, it's a whole other conversation. You know,
we're going to dive into that. Yeah. It's like, Lord, I surrender. Take me there.
Amen.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry about that.
That was powerful. That was a very much well needed.
Cool. Yeah.
Wow. Yes. So when did this how did it now shift from being like a passion to being like a ministry now?
Yeah, I would say so 2020 moved to Alberta, right? From Ontario. And started writing music. And it got to a point where because I was working with a lot of rappers and people where I'd be in the studio taking pictures of them, and they're trying to write songs. Oh, wow. And I'd be like writing stuff for them.
Wow.
And being like, like it was just because they'd be stuck on a line, and I'd be like, oh, what if you said this, or what if you flowed on it like this, or whatever. They'd be like, oh, that's fire.
The brains behind it.
Not everything, but there was moments, right?
Oh, yeah.
And there's in all honesty, there was a lot of moments because I love music and I love that stuff. There was a lot of moments where I'd have like like genius ideas, but I'd just be like, oh, don't say it, don't talk about it or whatever, because not because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna use this for myself, but because probably just insecurity or like feeling out of place saying it, because I'm not that guy, I'm the camera guy, you know. So I don't want to say it, they don't like it, and then it's like, I'll stick to the camera guy, and then it feeds into that, you know, delusion even more that you're not cut out for that ever, you know. So I, you know, stay pretty reserved then. But so once I got to the point where I moved out here, I had quit doing all that stuff, quit smoking weed, quit nicotine. I moved out here and I was just working a job, saving up, bought my own equipment to start recording. And then first couple songs that I wrote were just like very intentionally like trying to just give glory to God. Talking like my first song I think that I put out was called Flipped Around. It was like God flipped my life around like a coin toss or whatever is what I was talking about. So
actually, wow.
Yeah, so that was the song, and I knew it wasn't the greatest song that's ever been made in the whole entire world, but I knew it was a starting point, and I knew it was a pretty good starting point.
Wow.
Because I knew the audio wasn't mixed well. I knew my voice wasn't developed as much as it could be, but I knew that well, if this is where I'm starting, it can only get better from here. Like I've got live recorded guitar that I put in there, produced it all myself. Like I'm just like, if this is what I can do on my first one, when I'm just learning how to use all this equipment, imagine once I've like mastered this equipment, I can, you know, figure it out. And then once I meet other people who know how to use this stuff really well, and we can collaborate and work on projects too, 4, 5, 6 years down the road. And so, so that's kind of where it started. And then once I realized, like the moment that it became, I would say a ministry, or where it at least created a idea in my mind that it could be a ministry, was when I had put out a song called I Feel All Right. And basically in that song, and if anyone's about to go listen to this song right now, turn the bass down in your car, because I don't want to blow out your speakers. I did not know how to mix to save my life back then. I thought the more bass, the better, but I think I've blown out some people's speakers with that song by accident. But that song was, it's basically talking about like, some days I don't feel like I'm myself. Seems like everyone else has it all together. What's wrong with me or whatever. But then basically like every time I go to God and I pray to God, I feel all right. You know, that's kind of the premise of the song. Great song. I should probably go back and like remaster it, put it out again. I think it would do pretty well. But when I put that song out, I had people messaging me and just saying like, there was one message in particular where someone was just saying like, hey, I was having like the worst day of my life. And that song, because they must have been following me on Spotify, they got notified that I just dropped a song. And they listened to it. It came up on the playlist or whatever that playlist is of like all the new releases of people you follow. And they were like, your song came on, and I just started crying. I was thinking about taking my life. And I heard your song, and I decided I'm not gonna.
Wow.
And I was like, whoa. And I got multiple messages very similar to that when I put that song out. And that was when I realized like, this thing is just like, that stuff's just so much bigger than me.
Right.
You know, I didn't do, like, I made the song, you know, in my basement, did my thing or whatever. But then after that, impacting, like, you know, it becoming an opportunity to impact people's lives.
Right. Yeah. And even just do that, like, what advice would you give, like, young people who, you know, they feel like they want to use their gifts for God, but they kind of, like, don't know where to start?
That's really good.
Yeah.
Something I'll say is we will sometimes think that God wants us to do something that we don't want to do. Or if there's like this desire, and I'm not talking about sinful desires, I'm talking about like things that we want to be, or like ways that we're designed to like work with our hands, or work with like, you know, you're a great communicator and you want to speak or whatever. Like there's things that God has put in you for a purpose and for a reason, you know, like if you're if you're, you know, a 6'6", like I'm a tall fella, you know, and there's been a lot of areas where God has used that for kingdom purposes in ways that I would have never even expected. Like I worked in a homeless shelter for a while, and just the presence of that size was able to just de-escalate situations by itself. You know, you show up to a situation like, hey dude, like let's calm this down a little bit, and they're like, okay,
I got
and
you.
You know, you could be like a really like I would pull up to situations, be really calm, really gentle with my voice, but the presence of the size of me as an individual combined, it's this like dichotomy of like, oh, he could probably pick me up and carry me out of here,
so
but he's being really kind. I'm gonna listen to him.
No, because even the moment you walked in, I was like, yep, that's a tall person.
Yeah. So the point I'm getting at is like, God's gonna give you things in your nature and it built into your DNA that He wants to use you for, and He's not gonna try and pull you away from that to get you to do something you don't want to do. So if you're in the middle of something and you're trying to pursue something because you're like, oh, I think God wants me to do this, but you don't have peace within yourself about it, that's probably not what God is calling you to do. Because if it is what He called you to do, you will work hard. You will have days where you're tired. But once your head hits your bed at night, you're gonna be like, oh, I just worked so hard doing something that was for God, that I loved doing. And that's how you kind of know that you're fallen within your purpose. But I would also encourage a young person, like, just pay attention to those areas in your life where you feel like you're called to it, but you have voices in your head telling you, no, you're not good enough, or no, you can't do it. That's probably where you should pursue, and you should talk to God about it and have you know, that quiet prayer time with God where you're like, hey God, I really do actually feel like I should pursue this, but I'm scared, or I have these voices telling me I'm not good enough. And you might have to work through uncovering that, but yeah, those are some thoughts. I know it's maybe vague or not incredibly specific, but it's like those are like the kind of like signs I would encourage someone to kind of pay attention to and watch for.
Yeah, because honestly, I feel like with the gifts that the Lord gives us, if we keep Him hidden and you know, just kind of like what you said, right? It's like if you don't kind of like obviously bring it to the Lord and be like, hey God, I need your help. What do I do? Because you can definitely get kind of drowned in literally noises. You can be drowned by different vast noises telling you that no, that's not for you. The whole time it's for you. The whole time it's meant for you. But how would you know if you don't kind of like close out all those voices and find the true voice, which is from the Lord?
That's
and
right.
He will let you know.
Absolutely.
You know? So it's really like, first step to recognize what it is that the Lord has placed within you. Like you said, that's first step, the recognition. Step 2, bringing it to the Lord. Step 2, for real. And that was powerful. That was definitely powerful.
Okay, good.
That was banging.
Praise God.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
What does it have? And like, what do you feel like are some of the struggles that like maybe comes with being a young gospel kind of like artist? Yeah, well, what do you feel like are some of like the challenges or struggles or maybe limitations?
Yeah, I would say you know, if the devil can't get you to you know, completely fall out of alignment with your calling and your purpose, he'll just make you busy so you can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I've heard that probably on Instagram or somewhere or something like that. But I watch it in real time happen in my life when it comes to music stuff, where it's like I'll just get caught up and busy in other things, which they're not bad things. It's just you. It's
pulling you away from
something that maybe, you know. Yeah. You got to find a balance too, you know. And yeah, that's definitely a big tension that I face in my life is like I got music that's not out, that's done, that I could just put out. but it literally would take me about 15 minutes to set it up, get it ready, drop it. But just haven't done it. You know,
and so I feel you. Woo.
Yeah,
I feel you.
Yeah, and I think especially like being at this age, like when you're between 20 and 30, it's like you've got your whole life ahead of you, and just like between 20 and 30, there's this pressure to figure things out.
Yes.
And so you get caught up in like.
Yep.
It's actually interesting because you're caught up in trying to create stability and figure things out in your life during that 10-year period. But the thing that God actually is like calling you to do that will create stability and will help you figure out your life, you're actually putting on the back burner, trying to do what everyone else is telling you that you should do or what you think you should be doing, rather than just being obedient to what God's calling you to do.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's something there is like, you know, if you feel like you're actually really called in a certain direction, or you feel like God is put a specific plan and a purpose in your life, like make that the purpose and make that the plan of your life, rather than, oh, I'm going to do that in 10 years. Once I do this, and this, so that I can do that. It's like God, there will be a way for God to use that thing to move you forward.
Wow.
If that makes sense. So
that's powerful. Sorry, I'm just trying to like.
No, you're okay.
The next question here.
Yeah.
But wow. This is actually, guys, if you don't have your paper and a pencil, something to write these key point headers down. Like, these are bangers. So make sure you have your paper. Make sure you have something to, like, don't just come here watching this podcast, like, just fake. Make sure you have something to, like, intentionally watch this podcast, okay? Intentionally, because it's like, crazy, like, wow. My gosh. Wow. Okay, and, final question here, actually.
Yeah.
So... this is kind of like more light and spontaneous.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. That's good. Yeah, let's bring it back up,
yeah,
you know?
What would you say is like kind of your favorite worship song at the moment?
Oh, there's a song that I think it's Elevation Worship and Dante. Is it Dante or something? Whatever.
Oh,
it's
I think Dante Bowie.
Yeah. It's God, I'm Grateful for You or something like that. Banger song.
That's a banger song.
Oh, it'll just make me cry. I'll just be driving and I'm like, I am grateful for you, God.
Lord. Thank you.
Oh, what an incredible song. Yeah. Yeah, that's right now. That's my song. That's my song right now.
That's a banger.
Yeah.
So one more question, actually.
Yes.
So.
Ooh, on the paper.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, let me put this one away.
Yeah. I love it.
All right. So, you know, with like your story and you're becoming your journey.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give to like maybe those young boys, young girls who feel like they're trapped in, maybe it could be addiction or any sort of like limitation that's hindering them from becoming? What would be your advice to them? What would you tell them to do? Would you say it's easy to let go? Would you say it's possible? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say two things about it. I would say one, look at the people who have been doing what you're doing for 20, 30 years.
Wow.
Or even 5, 10 years. Look at the people who've been doing what you're doing for that long and ask yourself, do I want to have what they have? Do I want the life that they have?
Wow.
If not, like, if you look at them, you're going to get a pretty good idea of what your life's going to look like. And you're respectfully full of pride and arrogance if you think that's not what your life's going to look like. You're not an exception. You're not. So that's one thing. And then the second thing I'll say is getting out of your addiction or your bad habits, whatever it is, your current situation that's maybe not the greatest. It's going to be, you need to know it's going to be probably the hardest thing you've done. Like when I quit smoking weed and nicotine, like that was a really, really hard time in my life. But going into it, I accepted, hey, this is going to be the hardest thing I ever did. So the second I was laying in bed at 1 a.m. with withdrawals, sweating, just like can't sleep to save my life, I was like, hey, this is actually exactly what I thought it was going to be. And once it got worse, I was like, oh yeah, I knew it was going to be worse. Yeah. And it was going to suck. Yeah. But you give yourself 6 months to a year of just overcoming and pushing through it, get out of that habit and get out of that cycle. And then there's freedom on the other side. And you can actually start to walk within your purpose and your calling. Because what's the alternative?
That's true.
Like what's the alternative? You just keep doing what you're doing and then end up like everyone else, you know, with a 402 beacon on your credit report or whatever, and you got like, you know, repoed car, you know, you're paying child support, you're divorced, drinking, you know, crushing beers every night, staying at the homeless shelter or whatever, right? You know, it's harder then, way harder then, because you have all it. It is way harder than.
Yeah, and it's a big destiny waster, guys.
Yeah. And it's not to say that you can't. It's just, it's like you think that it's hard right now to get out of your situation, but you're only even like this deep into the ground. Wait till you're like this deep. And you can throw your whole entire life away and die. And now but now you got to stand before the one who created you, and you got to give him an account for how you use all these incredible gifts and blessings that he gave you. And you're going to either tell him, hey God, I did everything I possibly could with everything that you gave me to double it, triple it, 10x it, and do good for the kingdom. Right. Or you're going to say, yeah, I just squandered it and did nothing and threw it all away. And so you just have to make a decision. You just got to make a decision. What do I want to do? And it's going to be hard, but you just got to do it.
Gotta do it.
And so, you
just
know,
gotta look
like Nike or whatever they say, you know? Yeah. And it almost feels so like cliche or whatever, but it's like you just have to take a moment, and especially if you're in an addiction, like the addiction makes you feel so good so often, right? That you don't even realize how bad your situation already is.
That's what it is.
But then eventually it's not even gonna feel good anymore.
It's not,
you know, like I've seen I was just gonna say like I've seen someone strung out on, like at the homeless shelter, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff, but seen someone like fully strung out on fentanyl, laying in a snowbank, peed their pants all over, but they're like high out of their mind, and they are feeling the greatest they've ever felt because they've got all this like drugs in their system. They're feeling like so good. Their eyes are like so rolling back. They feel so good. Right. But you look at them and you're like, dude, you're in a snowbank, peed and pooped your pants. Clothes haven't been changed in weeks. And you've got kids out there that are 16, 17, 18 that we know about. And this is your current situation. So it's like you got to kind of, you know, come to reality and come to terms. Even as we're talking about my past, it's like not nearly as crazy as some people's stories are. And like, praise God that some people have worked and overcome things that they've been through. But I'll say, like, looking back on my story, even as we were talking about it, knowing where I am now, I'm like, wow, I can't believe I was even in that situation in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, how did I not realize that this was, but that's why it's a slow drip. It's slow because it normalizes it and you become desensitized and you don't even realize how bad your situation even is after a certain point, you know? Wow. And so anyways, those are my thoughts, you know, just do it, you know?
Wow, real casually just dropped the bum on us.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. God, if whoever's listening to this, like, God wants to do so much more than you could even imagine with you. And you're wherever you are right now, wherever you're at in your story, it's like you haven't even started yet.
Wow.
With what he wants to do with you. You're like, oh, how could God use me in this situation? Watch him.
Watch him. No, literally, watch him.
How's God going to use me in this situation? How did he create the heavens and the earth and do all this stuff? 6 days, birds, animals. You look at how complicated everything is, and you think he can't make something out of you?
As in, oh my God.
You know? He will. You know? He'll do something.
Will he do it? He said it will. I love that song.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Sing it out.
Come on. But,
awesome.
wow. This has been crazy. Wow. Well, family, I hope you have been tuning your ears. I hope you've actually stayed and listened. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Here on The Becomers, we're constantly evolving, constantly becoming. And so, look, do you have a platform, any social media, your music that you want to kind of share with us?
Yeah, I am Luke Boland with 3 Ds on Instagram. That's all that I'm not even super active right now on Instagram, honestly. I've just been so busy, I don't even go on there much, but I am on there. And I do check it every now and then. And then the other things so Luke Boland on all streaming platforms. You can find me on YouTube Music, Apple Music, Spotify. LUKEBOLAND. And I'm out there. New music coming soon, you know?
Yeah, stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned. Link in bio.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. Well, on the count of 3, we're going to yell out Becomers. You ready?
Okay, yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Becomers!